Going over to the Cultural Report podcast, you have a TikToker saying that Texas flood victims deserve to have passed away because of the race. They were white. This brought us thanks to Libs at TikTok. Oh, I'm sorry. I should have put a visual disclaimer on the screen. You now see something that is debatably more visually disgusting than myself. She is a very large woman, and she has, like, I don't know if she stole this from Elton John's grave, but she has very bedazzled, I believe is the term, glasses with probably about 58 different fake rhinestones on there. Probably, she reminds me of a Claire store from the 1990s at the mall. A lot of fake jewelry. So apologies, but maybe she'll give us an articulate reason. Oh, no, of course, she's mentally vacuous, but we'll hear what she has to say. Again, this is credited to Libs of TikTok.
So, I hate to be the one who points it out, but it seems like it needs to get pointed out. So, are we not paying attention to majority of the videos that's being shared about this flood and the certain that's on the videos?
So she's a African-American woman and she's pointing to her face or her skin pigment.
Hopefully this is opening up some eyes and showing people that he watches. It don't matter who's watching. They're watching. They see you as a person and what you're teaching your kids and how your children treat others and how you treat others. And maybe y'all weren't the best of, helping thy neighbor unless they were still or the same.
Continuing to point her to her own skin.
As you. Because I find it ironic that it was the deep southern of Texas that it happened to. We knew back in the days where they used to do everything deep down in the southern. So hopefully this changes and open up a whole lot when it comes to treating people as equal. Okay.
I mean, mentally vacuous is always from leftism because obviously she's saying, oh yeah, it's okay to die because they're white and the way they treat us. Texas is actually probably one of the most diverse states in the union. And I'm a little biased, but I think it's the best. Well, spoiler alert, I live here. But yeah, in terms of the demographics of Texas, it's pretty diverse and treat people pretty well. A lot of people in Texas treat each other by their merit, a very rare thing when it comes to, Democrat cities. And this went moderately viral, got about 287,000 views and 6,000 likes. One of the first comments coming to us thanks to Paul Zazupa saying, quote, "This woman is pure evil. No one deserves what happened to those innocent people in Texas," getting 371 likes, which, yeah, obviously not. And it's kind of interesting. She's perhaps trying to blame God. Now, don't get me wrong. Biblically speaking, he is known for doing one big flood when he got really pissed or disappointed, depending on your view graph. But again, you can't perhaps not do that again. Yeah, so I don't want to blame God for this act of nature. Now, you also have Mark Rizzolo saying, quote, "Black racism against whites is out of control," unquote, getting 353 likes. Now, Charlie says this, and he's going viral in terms of this has 345 responses to his comment. Now, Charlie, which looks like an animated picture of a guy who's a cyclist. He's known as Charlie with 2 E's, Cycles is his profile name. He describes himself as an avid cyclist, which I want to say is a ginormous red flag, but it's a ginormous red flag. I own a cycle, and I will go from time to time. Unlike most, I won't block traffic. He also describes himself as a Democrat socialist, a Karl Marx, and an LGBTQ. He's also he's followed by Ed Krasenstein, and he has 168 followers. Now, Charlie says, quote, "Us whites have done far worse to the black community," getting 24 likes. And again, 346 comments. He was, as the youth might say, ratioed immediately from the profile by the name of The Free American Network, saying, quote, "Homo beta male, get on your knees and beg for forgiveness from them," getting 120 likes. Charlie says, that's excessive. We can at least acknowledge our wrongful treatment of them and provide them with financial compensation. He said that, but he got 0 likes. A very, very rare social media phenomenon. I believe that only happened twice when I was covering this show. when Chris Christie was running for presidential nomination on the Republican Party, Chris Christie had 2 instances where he, tweeted something and he had 0 likes and 0 positive comments, which I would think is statistically impossible because in theory, Chris Christie has family, allegedly friends, allegedly campaign staff, but none of them would like it. And he was ratioed with 100% of the comments being negative, which is a fascinating thing. Now, you also have Angela Parks says, quote, "I don't take responsibility for things I didn't do," getting 38 likes. Going down more and more. Austin Simmons says, "Don't post shit because you like attention," getting 43 likes. Doug Walking Horse says, quote, "If all whites had been as beta as you, we'd be speaking Japanese," getting 80 likes. Probably German too. Kind of depends. Maga Mrs. simply says, "Go after yourself," getting 8 likes. Going down more and more. S. Jack says, "This clown is literally a communist and praised a black man for punching a white woman in the face. Ignore his beta loser." This beta loser, getting 10 likes. Going back to the main comment section, Ryan L says, why don't these people ever realize how racist they are? They give themselves a hall pass and accept their own bigotry. Gross, getting 210 likes. Neo has a classic comic of the woman giving CPR to someone. The woman is labeled Democrats. The person giving CPR is racism. And she says, "Don't you die on me, you bastard. We still need to use you." Which, yeah, it's usually a big area or topic in which they use to raise campaign funds. Successfully, I might add, millions of dollars. Getting 116 likes. Eric says, quote, "Imagine if this was reversed, any white person said this," getting 143 likes, which, oh yeah, if that were to happen, that'd be running 24/7 on MSNBC, CNN, NBC, ABC, all the major news networks. That got, again, 143 likes. Fight with memes, A+ marketing, you know exactly what they do for a living, and they, in fact, did respond in meme form. Now, he says, quote, "How much propaganda did it take to convince people this isn't racism?" Which, I agree with that, but I don't think grammatically speaking that's correct. Kind of a little awkward. He has the meme of Jim from The Office pointing to the whiteboard saying, "If you hate white people, you're the one that's racist," getting 222 likes. The Voice of Reason has a picture of a guy and a girl at dinner, and he says before the comic, "Evil, morally bankrupt people, so sad, I pity them." And the girl says, "I blame white people for everything." And the guy goes, "It's cool, you're so open about your mental illness," getting 85 likes. Denise Brown says she's just trying to get famous like the other racist girl in Houston, getting 70 likes as well. Going down more and more. Bruce says, "No, we are done with this. The tank is past empty." There's a fuel gauge from a car, but instead of fuel, it says white guilt. It says empty as opposed to full on the gas tank. And the bullet point says, "None of our ancestors owned slaves, nor did 95% of white Americans," which, I mean, yeah, it's more than that. I believe 1.6% of Americans owned slaves back in the day. And yeah, that's still big, obviously, still morally vacuous to do that, to have slavery back in the day. But people don't realize how small in prevalence it was compared to the perception that we're given in public school system, whereas almost of the opinion of, oh yeah, it had to be, oh yeah, everyone had one. But no, it's quite the antithesis. Though again, it's still important that we got rid of it. It says, white Republicans died in the Civil War to free slaves. White Republicans voted unanimously to free slaves and later voted to give them citizenship and voting rights. Democrats fought against all 3 of those amendments, getting 363 likes. And Ferris says, quote, "I think that the bling on her face is making her super stupid in this moment. What a trash thing to say when an 8-year-old girl's drowned to death," getting 119 likes. Yep. Let's see. You also have, going down more and more, Just Jen saying, quote, "I can't wait for the moment she catches that karma," getting 135 likes. And again, maybe she's just saying this to, become famous, or, I mean, certainly going viral. But yeah, it's kind of sad that there's still some people out there that don't judge a man by his, I was about to say his metrics because I'm so business oriented, by his merits and actually accomplishments and, what they do and say. And that there are still so many people out there that, just make racist statements and believe in divisiveness of race, by race. And again, I think culturally, I think we are moving more towards basing people, basing someone based on their actions, which again, kind of ironic with modern culture. I mean, Martin Luther King Jr., we greatly disappointed. He was all about, basically judging man by his merit or what he does. And I'm thinking and hoping, maybe I'm naive, but in the comments, I'm thinking more and more Americans are waking up to the fact of, at the end of the day, all that matters is your actions, and do we share our common morals and values? But perhaps maybe a little, hopefully, foolishness, naive, hopelessly, naive. can't speak today, which is saying something. But I have that theory when I first started the show. No one tuned in. Well, maybe family. But as I slowly but surely gained subscribers, I've gotten slightly better at speaking, which gave me the theory. The more people that click that button, the greater I get at speaking. We'll someday make it through an entire episode speaking perfectly, articulately, and brilliantly. Well, maybe. Some might argue it's just a modicum improvement since, got more subscribers and I've been speaking a little bit better. But I would argue statistically speaking, an improvement. So if you can click that button and tell your friends, as always, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in again. Again, try to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So you click that button. I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comments. Great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone, everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.